Bonjour. We are two teachers, mathematics teachers in secondary schools in Europe. I am Odile, French teacher in France, and Monika Schwarze is German teacher in Germany. We want to do in this publication to compare math classes for secondary school students in France and in Germany. This publication is a result of a work in a European project that is funded by the French Agency for European Educational Funds, de and we've been working on a project together using an online platform, eTwinning. I am working in Lycée Institut Le Monnier in Caen, which is in the western part of France, and Monika Schwarze is from Pestalozzi Gymnasium Unna, which is in the north of Germany, near Dortmund. So this is we are, and I'm Odile on the right. First of all, we need to tell about our two national school systems because they're different, and we have to tell about their differences and similarities to give explanations for the further understanding. Teaching hours are 45 minutes in Germany and 55 minutes in France. School day are fairly short in Germany. It's a long half day, I would say, till 1 p.m., whereas the French school day is a full day from 8 to 4:30 p.m. and homework afterwards. School year in Germany is about a month longer than the French school year on the other hand. The main differences that we have is in educational politics. In fact, German school systems split up the students up the 11th up from 11 years old and split the students into separate schools depending on how good they can understand at school. So let's say approximately pupils that have a good understanding go to gymnasium. Those who have an average or another understanding just go to another schools. Whereas the French educational politic is to keep students all together up to 15 years old and to have all sorts of students in the same class groups. And this political differences lead to different teaching methods. We based our presentation on some examples of school books. So on the left-hand side, we took the Mathe 9, so German book, for the students aged 15, and picking an example there led me to choose books, French corresponding books, which are for students 1 year older and even sometimes 2 years older. So what is the examples we are dealing with, which would be quadratic equations, is done in Germany to 15 years old students, whereas the same topics, the same contents are given to French students who are 16 and 17. Authors are Schröder, Lergen, Müller, Schmidt, and in Germany, and in France, Édition Nathan, Transmat, and Barra, Barros, Benizot, Liorit, Morin, Niveau, Ricomé. We all thank these editing and authors for allowing us to base our publication on their work. So let's choose the example of quadratic equation, for example. First page in the book, so German book on the left and French book on the right, shows fairly corresponding presentations. So with sort of different situations where quadratic equations show up, and with easy calculations to get into the need of such equations. We called it activity. If you get up to the content itself, this is the theoretical content in Germany on the left. It looks to me like a very dense and very short presentation, whereas the French book shows rather fairly long text. So, for example, this one page on the left needs 2 pages for France on the right. Oh, that was a mistake. I showed only one. Then an exercise here, fairly corresponding exercise, showing the way things are formulated on the German side and on the French side. The German books moves on to translations of graphs, transformations of graph, and as a matter of fact, this content is not dealt for 16-year-old students, but 1 year older to 17-year-old students. So the extract here from the French book is from the second French book to 17-year-old students. The German book shows a very short and very compact way of particular cases where factorizing brings directly to a solution. This is the way the French book shows this. The German book shows the particular cases, and the French book is not actually showing a theoretical content there. It shows more like an exercise that French students should be able to repeat. On the other hand, the French books moves on to other functions which are not quadratic functions, just to show that quadratic functions are among other functions, and this part is not to be seen in the German book, and this global view on functions is to be dealt in for the 16-year-old students. These are 2 exercises pages fairly corresponding to each other about solving particular cases using only factorizing. Let's move on to the general case. How is a quadratic equation solved? I like very much this page, in fact, because the left-hand side shows the way the Germans show it very shortly and very efficiently, and starting with x squared plus px plus q equals 0, whereas the French books actually needs 2 pages, you'll see the next slide, to deal with the same question. And the French way starts with, it's a slight difference mathematically, it is the same, but the French way starts with general equation ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, and gets to the corresponding formulas, which can be seen here at the center of the page. And these formulas have to be learned by rote and practice. These are 2 pages, exercise pages, and as a French teacher, I see on the German page that it has a lot of text, that it is very dense to me. It has many exercises, and the French pages are more or less using also diagrams, but to reach the same knowledge. German book then leaves apart inequalities, whereas the French book for the 17-year-old students deals with inequalities, of quadratic inequalities, as a real theoretical content. But you have to keep in mind that what the German is shown here is done to 15-year-old students, whereas what is shown here for the French students is done to the 16 and 17-year-old students. So time is split differently. A last part here, which is not to be seen in the German book, is also an introduction to computer programming to achieve math results. And here, although the picture is not very good, it shows algorithm to that the students should get an idea of how to command a computer, to program a computer, to have it calculate. The last thing I would say before thanking this work was done while I was staying in Germany, and I've been listening to different classes in math, different groups, and also different teachers. And as far as I can see, the fact that student groups are very different, because in France student groups have a wide variety of understanding abilities and a wide variety of behavior too, whereas the German groups, student groups, seem to me more homogeneous, I would say more similar to each other, and this leads to natural differences in teaching a same and identical mathematical content. Well, thank you for your attention, and please feel free to contact us if you'd like so.